IVM.
Hello and welcome to the Habit Coach Podcast, the bite-sized podcast filled with quick and easy actionable habits. Remember, great habits create that awesome life. I am Ashdin Doctor, your habit coach. And today's fun fact of the day has to do with Buddhism. Did you know that the word lama is the title for a teacher of Dharma in Buddhism? It is very similar to the way that we use guru, for example, or someone who has the qualities that a student will imbibe. Hence, as a title, it will have different ranks and usages. And the most famous, of course, is that of the Dalai Lama. The word Lama also means highest principle. The mind of the Lama is said to be a Buddha mind, and hence it has achieved the peak of attainment. Lamas historically were the heads of monasteries, and this is where our story begins. A friend of mine told me this story recently, so I have no idea about its origins or if it is true or if they got the story correct. But it's the principle that stood out, and that is what I want to share with you now. It starts in a monastery. The current Lama is looking for someone to replace him. He's getting old and looking for all the other monks to stand up and who've studied under him to take over the reins. One monk in particular is very ambitious. He wants to be the next Lama. The ambition, of course, at this point of time is not born out of, the ambition that we know, but out of love and compassion. He's a monk after all. So he goes to the Lama and says, "Master, I am ready." The old Lama slowly opens his eyes and looks at the young monk. "Master, I have learned every scripture. I have meditated for so many hours. I know all that you have taught me." The old Lama then spoke after a long pause, a pause that must have felt like an eternity to that young monk. He said, "Okay, we shall see. Meet me in the prayer hall tomorrow morning. There I shall ask you one question. If you answer that question correctly, you deserve to be the next Lama." Excitedly, the young monk skipped back to his room, pulled out all the scriptures and revised all the prayers. He went through his notes. He remembered all the teachings of his master. That sense of excitement was within him. Butterflies tickled inside his tummy. The next morning, he woke up earlier than usual. To be honest, he barely slept, the same way that we do before a final exam. He got ready to leave for the prayer hall that was high up on the hill. It had been raining all night, and it was still raining as the monk headed off to meet the Lama. Huddled under a black umbrella, he made his way to the prayer hall. He reached the prayer hall early and was surprised to see the Lama already there. He closed his umbrella, placed it on the side, and entered. Kneeling down, he looked at the Lama and said, "I am ready. I have read every scripture, every lecture that you have ever given. I have meditated more than any of the others. I am ready." The Lama smiled and said, "Okay, as promised, here is your one question. And if you answer this correctly, you shall be the next Lama. As you entered the prayer hall, you put your umbrella against the wall next to the door. Which side did you place the umbrella on? Was it the left or the right?" That's it. That was the question the old Lama told the young monk. Now, this is a beautiful story, and it represents just how much importance we must give to our awareness. When we talk about enlightenment and enlightened souls, that enlightenment did not just come from book knowledge or studying the scriptures. It came from awareness. Meditation is awareness of the self. Every emotion, every thought, every twitch of the skin, every conscious breath. And when you live your life through consciousness or conscious awareness, your life changes. Each action has a reason. Each reaction is born from conscious thought. And we often go through life not knowing why we did the things we did. Half the time, we go through life not knowing what we did. And I'm often amazed by my clients' reactions when I ask them what happened through the day, and they can't remember. Now, I know we are not training to be the next monk or the next Lama. But if you are the kind of person that is clumsy, knocks things over, or someone who says and does things without thinking about it and then ends up hurting somebody else, if you are prone to anger that boils over, awareness is a habit you have to inculcate. I would say awareness is the ultimate habit because it forces you to live in the present at all times. You cannot be aware by having your thoughts about the future or of the past. Now, of course, to be in a constant state of awareness will take years of practice. We aren't trying to become the next monk or lama, like I said, but we must start. And here are 3 of my favorite ways to bring about awareness and make it a habit. 1. Do a self-check-in and ask yourself, how are you feeling? What are you thinking? Don't change the thought, just be aware of them. The second is bring awareness in action. So for 10 minutes a day, as you clean the house, do it in a very conscious manner. Each movement should be thought through. Each movement of your finger, the duster going across the board, each time you place an object in the house must be out of awareness. The third, awareness of the people we meet. What does their face look like? What emotions are they sharing? Look at the wrinkles on your father's face. Look into his eyes. Be aware of the color of their glint. We spend most of our life blocking feelings out, blocking people out, overwhelming ourselves with information and objects. Instead, the whole practice of awareness and growth boils down to that one question asked by the Lama. Which side did you place your umbrella today? As you know, sugar is one of the worst things that you can do for your body. I have spoken about this so often on the Habit Coach podcast. On the 1st of September, we start our next 30-day no sugar challenge. You need 3 things to give up the sugar addiction. First is your determination. The second is the knowledge about where sugar is hidden and the habits to break free from it. Finally, a support group to help you, which of course I'm going to be a part of. To find out more about the challenge and avail of this discount, visit www.planmyfood.com/no sugar. If you like this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on social media. We are at IVM Podcasts on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to reach out to me, I am Ashdin Doc on Twitter and Instagram. You can find lots more information on my website, awesome180.com, or check out different content on my YouTube channel called AWESOME180. That's Awesome180.
I hope you enjoyed that show. So another really fun week on the network. I don't know if you saw this, but Varun Thakur was on Advertising is Dead. That was a really, really fun episode. Besides that, we've had some great guests all over the place. We had Ram Madhvani on Cyrus Says. We had Saurabh Mukherjee, a legend in the finance space. He was on Pesa Vesa. He and Anupam have co-written a book, so definitely do check out that episode and go buy their book too. I mean, that would be another great thing to do. Uncle Pleased had a really, really cool episode with hosts of our other show, Mr. and Mrs. Binge Watch, Anirudh and Janice. They were talking about celebrity culture and how that's progressed over the last few years. And yeah, it's just been a really, really great week. One episode I do want to shout out. A couple of weeks ago, Pulyabazi did an episode which was just amazing. They were talking about the letters between Mahatma Gandhi and Rabindranath Tagore. Do check those out. Those are really good. And with that, hope to see you again next week.
बेटा, did you know 79% of all scientists in NASA are Indian only?
देखो, इंडिया में टैक्स सिर्फ मिडिल क्लास भरती है. Everyone is just enjoying free यार.
आजकल के youngsters are only interested in partying and enjoying. उनको देश की पड़ी ही नहीं है.
बेटा तुम बस शादी कर लो, उसके बाद तो you can enjoy life like anything.
I will tell you what this country needs. This country needs 15 years of dictatorship. That is the only way to become a superpower. See the Chinese, how much they've progressed.
सुनो, तुमने ये WhatsApp forward देखा?
So what's common between all of these statements?
They're all absolutely rubbish.
Fake WhatsApp forwards that spread like wildfire.
And statements that defy any logic.
We are here to debunk them all.
Way of family WhatsApp groups, worst nightmare. Where what happens when you read a book.
Basically, we are just a bunch of guys who want to cut through the bullshit of everyone saying this, how it won't be true.
So that the next time someone confidently squeezes out some WhatsApp or Twitter BS, you can look them dead in the eye and go, Uncle, please sit.
So join me, Joel,
And me, Tushar.
every Mondays for a fresh new episode of Uncle, Please Sit.